BMO becomes the world's first financial institution to launch Twitch channel, helping gamers level up in gaming and their finances. This stuff is just, it's so written by a marketing agency that has never spent a second on playing games or in the streaming community. But here you go, guys. It's the big news. BMO Financial Group today announced the launch of BMO NXT LVL. I don't know how to pronounce that otherwise. A first-of-its-kind communications platform on Twitch, which is a service, so that's kind of ironic. Known for its massive gaming community, with content intersecting gaming culture and personal finances. Driven by a commitment to authenticity... Can you have an authentic reaction when the entire thing has been driven by a marketing agency? I'm not sure that you can, but hey, we'll see. BMO NXT LVL will help gamers level up in-game and in life by connecting and engaging with them in the digital spaces where they are. To drive the innovative initiative, BMO... God, just two juice words right there. Innovative initiative. BMO created the Gaming Relations Specialists, the GRS. A global first for any financial institution. The GRS will host BMO... Oh, I guess I should be saying GRS that will host the BMO NXT L... Gee, my God. They got to cut this down. The BMO NXT LVL. That's a GRS is going to be hosting that. While engaging in insightful discussions on gaming and personal finances with influential guests through live stream and social content. In partnership with advertising agency FCB, of course, Toronto, TOR, and media agency UM. BMO will launch Season 1 with its first stream of BMO NXT LVL on MAY 13. So let's go take a look. He's the BMO GRS and host of BMO NXT LVL. Join me on the tour of my gaming relations specialist office. Oh, I can't get enough of the BMO blue LED. Ladies and gentlemen, we got some new content here. Let's take a look. Let's enjoy his offices. But before we get into this, I want to make my point. Non-endemic brands listening to advertising agencies coming into a space that they obviously have not spent any time in is always going to fail. It doesn't succeed. Not in the initial early adopters. It comes off as way overproduced. It comes off as phony and fake, and it just doesn't connect with what makes content creation on Twitch and in the streaming community successful. And so they're going to struggle with this. I guarantee this is not going to last long. My belief is it'll last 3 to 6 months. Because usually these kind of marketing campaigns are broken up by quarter. And so maybe they get a 2-quarter commitment or a half commitment, and then they'll reevaluate whether or not it's actually effective or not. I'm going to guess it probably won't be. But there is a positive to this. There is a positive when you do have brands taking risks and entering new spaces that they've not been before. It does kind of lead to other brands taking a more serious look at the space. They actually do kind of go, all right, what's BMO doing? They're doing that, huh? Well, can we do that? Can we do something like that? Is that somewhere where we should be? It forces them to ask questions on how to actually get involved in the space, which means more money comes in, more people get sponsorship opportunities, more people get spokesperson gigs, more people get, Twitch will probably get more ad spend. It ultimately ends up being good overall for creators to some degree, because it can also go terribly wrong. If we go back to the history of influencer marketing, one of the first brands that was involved in influencer marketing was Pop Chips. Pop Chips actually... in Canada and the United States, launched on the backs of content creators. It started giving out pop chips to people who are very popular on Twitter, people who had their own blogs, people who were actively creating on Facebook and stuff. And so it encouraged this kind of, Pop Chips is getting a whole bunch of earned media because a whole bunch of influencers are creating content about Pop Chips, and they're sharing pictures on Twitter, and they're talking about it, and they're telling their friends, and people are curious how they get their own Pop Chips. And they became a successful brand off of that. Now, other brands followed suit and other brands got interest in the space, but a lot of bad things happened as well. In those early days of influencer marketing, 2010, 2011, it was a really weird spot. It was a very weird spot overall. There was a lot of brands that were taking advantage of content creators because at the time, there was no information on whether or not these people were successful or not. They had Clout, Klout, which was a website that tracked how influential people were. But were they resulting in sales? Was there any information to suggest that they actually had a tangible impact on business? There wasn't really that much. You kind of had like the history of spokespeople and celebrity endorsement and stuff like that, but nothing like this, nothing where you had individuals promoting things. Now, that's 10 years removed, though. That's 10 years removed. Now we have lots of information. We know that influencer marketing works. We know that the impact of audiences consuming your content results in sales. And conversion rates are roughly around like 1% for things like Instagram. Twitter is probably a little bit lower, YouTube. But we don't necessarily have that yet, at least not very reliable data, for Twitch. But we know from our own tests here, from HelloFresh, we're able to see about a 10% conversion rate. Viewership to total number of sales. So active average viewership to total number of sales was about 10%, which is remarkable. That's a really good overall number. My concern with brands coming into the space is we're going to see, and I think we have already seen it to some degree, with Udis and such, is they're going to see, well, we don't know whether or not you actually have impact or value as a content creator. We don't know if your audience actually results in sales. But we do. We definitely know that. And I think that on Twitch, because of the nature of community, the likelihood of conversion is significantly higher than anything that people were doing back in blogs and Twitter and then YouTube. I think it's going to be significantly higher. And so my concern is, or perhaps my warning is to creators, is to value yourself highly. Value yourself highly. Because brands have lots of money, and while they may be taking a risk in coming into a new space, this is not the way that they should be coming into a new space. They should be coming into the new space by working with creators who exist in the field rather than trying to create their own silly ideas that just will not pan out. This will not work. This is going to be a bigger failure than Venn, I'll tell you that right now. And probably less money spent, of course, but it's just not going to work. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you click like, click subscribe up there, and then watch this video. What else you got to do? You're on YouTube anyways. You might as well watch something else. It's right there.